The air crackled in the United Nations' hastily converted orbital chamber, as Earth's leaders gathered beneath the vast holographic projection of the Galactic hegemony's seal. The message, cold and unmistakable, hung suspended in the artificial gravity. Surrender your sovereignty. Submit your armies. Accept your place as a minor province, or be annihilated. Dr. Lena Morozova sat at the far edge of the chamber, eyes burning with defiance beneath the glare of the blue projection light. Around her, diplomats whispered hurriedly, casting worried glances at the countdown timer ticking ominously on the main display. 7 days until the Empire's fleet would reach Earth's orbit. "The Empire isn't bluffing," said General Tariq al-Sayed, his voice steady but grim. "They've crushed entire systems without hesitation. We have no illusions." Lena shook her head. "We do have illusions. Illusions they underestimate us. Humanity survived millennia of wars, plagues, and catastrophes. We built this fragile coalition in less than a week. We're not beaten yet." The chamber doors hissed open and Captain Marin Kaido strode in, breathless from the urgency of her message. "A deep space signal, Doctor. Something anomalous." Lena's pulse quickened. "Anomaly from where?" "Beyond the Kuiper Belt," Marin replied, eyes scanning her datapad. "Encoded, not from any known faction." The room fell silent. The Empire's reach was vast, but nothing beyond their borders was supposed to be active anymore. The galaxy was theirs. Lena's fingers flew over her console, decrypting layers of the message. Symbols flashed, alien in origin but strangely familiar, resembling fractal patterns that mimicked the very DNA helix of life on Earth. "Could it be a warning?" she murmured, raising her eyes to the generals and politicians. "Or a threat?" The countdown clock continued its relentless march. Outside the chamber, Earth's skies darkened as the Empire's fleet entered the solar system's outer edge. Deep space sensors tracked the first of their warships, monstrous, sleek vessels humming with power far beyond humanity's current capability. Yet Earth's people did not panic. Not yet. In a hidden facility beneath Antarctica's ice, engineers and scientists worked feverishly. Lena's team had secured the coordinates from the alien signal, a buried vault sealed for millennia. The Kai facility's massive drill rumbled as it tore through kilometers of ice, reaching a cavern hidden beneath. When the excavation revealed the chamber, the world changed forever. Inside lay an ancient weapon, a device built not by human hands, but by a civilization that vanished eons ago. Its core pulsed with cold energy, lines of glowing circuitry tracing patterns that seemed alive. "This technology, it could turn the tide," whispered Dr. Morozova, awe mixing with urgency. "If we can harness it." But time was a cruel master. Saboteurs struck at their supply lines, desperate to delay the weapon's activation. The Terran coalition tightened security. Trust was thin, alliances fragile. Back in orbit, the Empire's message played on every screen across Earth. "You are but insects before the tide of our empire. Surrender or be crushed." Children watched from their bedrooms. Soldiers clenched their fists. The world held its breath. On the surface, in the shadow of the ancient vault, Lena stood beside Captain Kaido. "We won't surrender," Marin said, eyes fierce. "Not today. Not ever." Lena nodded, feeling the weight of centuries, the blood, sweat, and resilience of humanity burning in her veins. Suddenly, the ancient device flickered, emitting a blinding beam toward the sky, fracturing the atmosphere. With a crackling roar, the countdown had become a challenge. The stars themselves seemed to watch, waiting for Earth's answer. The Antarctic wind howled like a furious beast outside the subterranean cavern. But beneath the thick ice, the atmosphere was electric with urgency. Lena Morozova and her team stood around the ancient weapon's core, its soft blue glow pulsating, rhythmically like a heartbeat from another world. "We don't have long," Lena said, her voice tight. "The Empire's fleet is closing in. We need to unlock this technology, and fast." Her lead engineer, a wiry man named Raj Patel, wiped sweat from his brow despite the freezing temperature. The patterns in this device, quantum entanglement, coupled with gravitic modulation, it's unlike anything we've ever seen. If we can reverse engineer it, it could revolutionize our defense systems. Marin Kaito, standing guard near the entrance, frowned. We've had reports of sabotage, communications blackouts, someone's trying to slow us down. Lena nodded grimly. It has to be a mole, or an Imperial spy embedded somewhere in the coalition. The walls vibrated suddenly, a low hum spreading through the cavern. Raj's eyes widened. The device is waking up, it's reacting to something, or someone. Lena's calm crackled. Dr. Morozova, you need to see this. The voice was breathless, urgent. They hurried to the monitoring station where holographic displays showed deep space readings flickering on the main screen. Look at this, Raj said, pointing. The weapon is creating a spatial distortion, a fold in spacetime. Marin's voice dropped. Like a rift. Suddenly, a tremor shook the cavern. Dust fell from the ceiling. The ice above groaned. Outside, satellite feeds captured the first cracks in the Antarctic ice shelf. Large fractures, spreading rapidly. Earthquakes? Asked a technician. No, Lena said sharply. This is no natural event. The device's activation is destabilizing the crust. In the command center orbiting Earth, officials watched the unfolding events with mounting dread. The Empire's flagship fleet had crossed the heliosphere. Sensors registered their approach. Over 200 warships, each bristling with weapons that had vaporized entire planets. Status report, the Coalition's military commander demanded. The weapon beneath Antarctica has activated, ma'am, the lead scientist replied. It's creating a powerful energy beam. We don't fully understand it yet, but it's destroying anything in its path. The Empire's fleet might be the first target. The room fell into uneasy silence. Back underground, Lena paced beside the device's control console. We can't just unleash this without knowing the consequences. This weapon is unlike any human tech. It might tear apart the planet. Raj shook his head. We don't have a choice. If we don't act, the Empire's fleet will orbit Earth in hours. Then it's all over. Marin looked at the data feed. Our satellites just picked up enemy transmissions. They know something is happening here. They're sending boarding teams. Lena swallowed hard. Prepare the defenses. We won't give up this weapon without a fight. As night fell across the planet, the first Imperial stealth ships slipped into Earth's orbit. Cloaked and silent, they dropped special ops units near key strategic locations. Among them was a figure in dark armor, a psionic assassin known only as Cathar. His mission: infiltrate the Antarctic base, sabotage the weapon, and eliminate anyone who stood in the Empire's way. Inside the cavern, alarms suddenly blared. Red lights flooded the control room. Breach detected, shouted the security chief. Intruders are inside. Lena grabbed a pulse rifle from the armory. Marin readied her sidearm. They moved swiftly through narrow corridors, activating automated defenses. Enemy forces are advancing, Marin reported. They're heading for the weapon's core. Lena's heart hammered. We must protect it at all costs. In the shadows, Cathar advanced with uncanny silence, bending light around him. His psionic energy rippled like a wave, disrupting sensors and communications. He paused as he reached the main chamber. The ancient weapon hummed louder, responding to his presence. You underestimate humanity, Lena said, stepping from the shadows with her rifle trained on him. Cathar smiled, voice cold and sharp. I am not here to debate. I am here to end your resistance. The air crackled as the two faced off, human grit against alien power. Outside, the fractures in the ice widened, lightning crackled in the sky, and the world held its breath. The fate of Earth and humanity's last hope, balanced on a knife's edge. The silence shattered in a violent explosion of light. The ancient weapon beneath Antarctica flared to life, sending a blinding beam of pure energy slicing through the planet's upper atmosphere and into the void beyond. For a moment, the sky seemed torn apart, stars bending around the beam as if the universe itself shuddered. At the same time, Earth's deep space sensors locked onto the incoming Imperial fleet, 200 warships, their engines pulsing with deadly intent, cutting through the darkness toward Earth's orbit. But the fleet never made it. Seconds after the weapon's first activation, a catastrophic chain reaction unfolded light years away. The lead warship, the colossal flagship Imperator Ascendant, shuddered violently as systems overloaded. Its shields flickered and failed. Hull plating melted under unseen assault. Without warning, the flagship exploded in a massive fireball that illuminated the void for thousands of kilometers. Panic rippled through the rest of the fleet. Communication channels erupted in confusion and frantic orders, but before they could regroup, the second and third ships fell victim to the same invisible force. The weapon was firing again, relentlessly, with surgical precision. In Earth's orbit, Coalition commanders watched in stunned silence as the once mighty Empire fleet crumbled. General Tariq al-Sayed's voice cracked over the command channel. This is impossible. They're vaporizing the entire fleet before it can engage. Lena Morozova, observing the readings from the Antarctic control station, allowed herself a rare smile. We told them we wouldn't surrender. We warned them we were ready. This is just the beginning. Marin Kaito stood beside her, eyes locked on the destruction. The Empire thinks they face an underdeveloped species. They don't realize we've been preparing, waiting for this moment. The galaxy watched in stunned silence. News feeds across thousands of systems broadcast the destruction of the Imperator Ascendant and its fleet. The message was clear. Humanity was no longer a backwater planet to be ignored or crushed. They had weapons that could annihilate starships at relativistic distances, and they were not afraid to use them. On the Imperial homeworld, chaos reigned. The High Council's chambers erupted in anger and disbelief. How could these primitives possess such power? Demanded High Chancellor Vorlon, his eyes burning with fury. Their technology. It's alien, one advisor whispered. They've tapped into something forbidden. Vorlon slammed his fist on the table. Send the full armada. Crush them before they become a threat. Back on Earth, the Coalition received a new transmission. Not from the Empire, but from an unexpected source. The alien signal that had first led them to the Antarctic weapon flared to life again. This time it carried a message in perfect Terran. English, calm but urgent. You wield a power you do not fully understand. The weapon is a beacon, a warning, and a call. Use it wisely, or you risk awakening what lies beyond. Lena frowned. What lies beyond? Marin's voice was steady but tense. Whatever it is, the Empire won't wait for us to find out. Despite the shock, humanity was unbowed. The Terran Coalition immediately broadcast their terms to the galaxy. No more submission, no more hiding. Humanity would fight not just for survival, but for freedom. Within hours, transmissions spread to rebellious worlds under Imperial control. Secret resistance networks activated. Long dormant ships rose from hidden shipyards. The spark of rebellion had ignited. Meanwhile, in the Antarctic cavern, Lena and her team worked feverishly to stabilize the weapon. The rift it had created in space-time was growing, fracturing reality in localized pockets. If left unchecked, it could tear apart Earth itself. We need to control it, Lena said urgently. If this device destroys our planet, we've won nothing. Raj Patel nodded. We've reverse-engineered the initial data. The weapon can be tuned, focused, even amplified, but it requires a precise neural interface. Someone must link their mind directly to it. Lena's gaze hardened. Then, I'll do it. As the sun rose over the war-torn Earth, humanity's defiance blazed brighter than any star. The Empire had demanded surrender, and humanity had answered, with firepower from the heavens. The shattered remnants of the Imperial fleet fled in disarray, but the High Council's fury only deepened. For an empire built on order and control, the loss of 200 ships to a supposedly primitive species was unthinkable. Yet their desperation bred darker plans. Within the vaulted halls of the Imperial High Council, High Chancellor Vorlon paced restlessly. His pale fingers drummed a restless rhythm on the obsidian table, eyes burning with calculated rage. Destroying our fleet was an act of war, he hissed, but it was only a warning shot. We will bring Earth to its knees. An aide stepped forward, bowing low. Chancellor, there are whispers within the fleet. Rumors of human psionic potential. They may not be as primitive as we believed. Vorlan's lips curled into a sneer. Then we will extinguish it at its source. Meanwhile, on Earth, the Terran coalition grappled not just with external threats, but with fractures within. The sudden exposure of the ancient weapon and the massive power it wielded had awakened fear and suspicion. In a dimly lit conference room deep beneath the ruins of the United Nations, political leaders argued heatedly. We can't trust all factions, warned Minister Kwan, her voice sharp. There are those who would sell us out to the Empire for power. Paranoia won't save us, countered General Tariq al-Sayed. We need unity, or we're finished. Lena Morozova sat quietly, eyes distant. The weight of the ancient weapon's neural interface bore heavily on her. The device had begun to influence her dreams. Visions of stars collapsing, of darkness swallowing worlds. We've only scratched the surface of what this weapon can do, she said softly. And if we misuse it, we could become the very thing we fight against. Tensions reached a boiling point when Captain Marin Kaito intercepted encrypted transmissions revealing a terrifying truth. A secret faction within the Empire was preparing an elite assassination squad, psionic assassins trained to infiltrate and destabilize Earth's leadership. The first target was clear, Lena Morozova. Late one night, as Lena studied the weapon's interface, her security detail reported movement nearby. Shadows flickered against the icy cavern walls. Marin's voice came sharp in her ear. Doctor, get ready. We have company. The cavern doors hissed open. A figure stepped through the mist, silent, lethal, cloaked in psionic energy that seemed to distort reality itself. It was Cathar, the Empire's deadliest assassin, back from his failed Antarctic raid and bent on revenge. Without hesitation, Marin raised her pulse rifle, but Cathar vanished before the shot, reappearing behind the nearest console. The air crackled with psionic force as he unleashed a wave of psychic energy. Lena staggered, clutching her head, her mind filled with alien whispers, visions of destruction. Marin fired again, forcing Cathar to retreat, but the message was clear. Earth's internal war had begun. At the same time, a Terran pilot, Lieutenant Jace Navarro, uncovered a crucial vulnerability. While engaged in orbital reconnaissance near Mars, he detected an unusual psionic signature linking the Empire's fleet. Their advanced telepathic network synchronized ship movements flawlessly, but it also represented a single point of failure. Navarro sent an encrypted message to Coalition Command. If we can disrupt the psionic link, the Empire's coordination collapses. General Tariq was skeptical. It's a risky gambit. Their psionics are powerful. But it's our best chance, Navarro insisted. As Earth prepared to launch a counteroffensive, suspicion and paranoia spread. Who could be trusted? Who carried the Empire's poison within? Lena wrestled with her growing connection to the ancient weapon. At night, she dreamed of cold stars, of silent voids filled with unseen watchers. The weapon's power was intoxicating, seductive, but she feared what would happen if it consumed her. Her resolve hardened. We cannot become monsters, she whispered to Marin. We fight with fire, yes, but we must keep our humanity. Marin nodded. And if they try to break us, we will fight in the shadows as well. The stage was set for a war not just of fleets and firepower, but of minds and shadows. The Empire demanded Earth's surrender. Earth refused, and now the Empire would pay the price. The red dust of Mars stirred under heavy boots as Earth's covert engineers deployed their most daring weapon yet. AI war machines buried deep beneath the planet's surface, waiting for their moment. The Martian deserts, once quiet and empty, now hummed with hidden power. Lieutenant Jace Navarro stood atop a rocky ridge, his gaze fixed on the shimmering Martian horizon. The Empire's warship still dominated the skies above Earth and Mars, but for the first time, humanity had a chance to turn the tide. "We disrupt their psionic network," Jace explained to his team, "and their entire armada loses coordination. We hit them hard, fast, and blind." Beneath Mars, the AI war machines, sleek, autonomous, and lethal, activated. Their programming was clear. Disable the psionic nodes scattered across Imperial warships orbiting Mars, severing the psychic link binding the fleet's movements. Earth's orbital command. General Tariq watched the live feed as drones swarmed Imperial satellites. "It's working," the general said, eyes gleaming. "Their formations are breaking apart. This could be our chance." But just as hope surged, alarms blared across the command center. "Systems failing," Raj Patel shouted from the AI control hub. "The war machines. Something's attacking their core programming. They're shutting down." A virus, crafted from Imperial psionic tech, was infiltrating their machines, turning humanity's greatest weapons against them. Jace's comm crackled. "AI units are going offline. We're losing them one by one." On the surface, a desperate race unfolded. Engineers scrambled to isolate the virus and reboot the machines. Lena Morozova, working alongside Raj, stared at the code streaming past. Her eyes. "They're adapting faster than we anticipated. This isn't just a virus, it's a psychic quantum hybrid. It's evolving." Marin Kato paced nearby, gripping her rifle. "If we lose Mars, the Empire gains full control of the inner system. Earth will be next." The tension was palpable. Meanwhile, in the depths of an Imperial dreadnought orbiting Mars, Cathar, wounded but unbroken, plotted his next move. The psionic assassin's connection to the neural network allowed him to manipulate the virus remotely. His mind a web of dark intentions, Cathar smiled. "Let them believe they have hope. Then we will strike when they are weakest." As Earth's forces struggled, an unexpected ally emerged. A flicker of movement on the outer edges of the solar system caught the attention of coalition scouts. A rebel alien faction, long thought extinct, known as the Vakren. Their ships, organic in appearance and cloaked in bioluminescent light, slipped into the solar system silently. The Vakren bore technology that even the ancient weapon beneath Antarctica could not match. Bioneural interfaces, weapons that bent reality, and psionic shields strong enough to block Imperial detection. Lena received the message from their emissaries. "We will help you, if you accept the price." Back on Mars, Jace Navarro led a final push to regain control of the AI war machines. The virus had nearly crippled their efforts, but with the Vakren's technology, they initiated a counterattack. In a dazzling display of alien-human synergy, AI war machines rebooted, their forms glowing with renewed power. They surged forward, targeting Imperial psionic nodes, disabling communications and sensors. Imperial ships floundered in disarray. As the battle raged, Lena stood before the Ancient, weapons interface on Earth, her neural link deepening. The weapon's energy flared around her, and in her mind she heard the warning again. Beware the darkness beyond the stars. Her grip tightened on the controls. "This war isn't just for survival," she whispered. "It's for the future of all life." In the skies above Mars and Earth, the tide of war began to turn. The Empire's grand armada faltered. Humanity's defiance burned brighter. But as the shadows lengthened across the solar system, the true war, the war for the soul, of the galaxy was only just beginning. Lena Morozova sat still within the neural interface chamber, her mind a storm of fractured thoughts and alien whispers. The ancient weapon's power was a double-edged sword, granting her visions of distant stars and cosmic energies, but threatening to consume her very sense of self. Outside, the world teetered on the brink of annihilation. The Imperial fleet, crippled but far from defeated, regrouped in scattered pockets. Cathar's psionic assassins prowled like shadows, sowing chaos within Earth's fragile coalition. But inside Lena's mind, an even deadlier battle raged. The neural interface connected her consciousness directly to the weapon's core, linking her thoughts with quantum entanglements that spanned light years. She could feel the vast intelligence buried within, the echoes of a long-lost civilization and their warnings etched in cosmic code. Suddenly, a presence intruded, a cold, invasive force probing her defenses. Cathar, the psionic assassin's mind reached out, a dark wave seeking to fracture her will, to bend the weapon's power for the Empire's dominion. Lena's mental vision twisted as psychic tendrils tried to ensnare her. She fought back with every ounce of strength, summoning memories of Earth's resilience and humanity's unyielding spirit. "You will not break me," she thought, focusing on the weapon's core. "This power is not yours." Outside, Marin, Kaido and the Coalition's elite guards held the underground facility against a relentless Imperial assault. Explosions rocked the ice cavern, sending shards and debris flying. "Hold the line," Marin shouted, firing at shadowy figures slipping through psionic cloaks. But it was more than physical warfare. Each psychic assault fractured the minds of defenders, spreading fear and doubt. In orbit, Lieutenant Jace Navarro coordinated the EOR, fractured Coalition fleets using the Vakran technology to shield their ships from psionic attacks. Still, Imperial forces pressed hard. "Navarro to Earth Command," he said, voice strained. "Their fleet is disintegrating, but Cathar's psionic network keeps regenerating. We're locked in a war of minds as much as weapons." General Tariq al-Sayed frowned. "Then we must strike at the source." Deep within the neural battlefield, Lena discovered the weapon's true secret, a dormant consciousness embedded in the quantum matrix. It was neither wholly machine nor purely alien, but something transcendent. The consciousness whispered warnings of an ancient enemy lurking beyond the galaxy, waiting for any sign of weakness to emerge from the shadows. "You wield a spark of creation," it said, "but with it comes destruction. Choose your path wisely." Lena shuddered. The weapon was not just a tool of war, it was a key to a cosmic struggle far greater than Earth's survival. Back on Earth, political factions splintered under the stress. Some urged immediate total war, others sought peace talks, fearing the weapon's growing instability. Minister Quan confronted Lena during a tense meeting. "You're gambling with our future. This weapon could destroy us all." Lena's gaze was steely. "If we don't use it, we're finished, but I swear, if it threatens innocent lives, I'll shut it down." Marin stood silently beside her, ever watchful. Cathar's psychic assault intensified. His presence loomed like a storm in Lena's mind, attempting to hijack the ancient weapon's power. But Lena found an unexpected ally, the consciousness within the weapon itself. Together, they created a psychic firewall, blocking Cathar's influence. In a surge of mental energy, Lena unleashed a counterstrike, sending waves of pure psionic force crashing into Cathar's mind. His screams echoed in the void. Outside, the tide of battle shifted. Imperial boarding teams faltered as their psionic support collapsed. Coalition defenders pushed forward, reclaiming lost ground beneath the ice. Jace Navarro's ships regained control of the Martian orbits, coordinating strikes that shattered Imperial supply lines. In the neural interface chamber, Lena gasped as the weapon's power surged through her. Her body trembled, but her spirit burned brighter than ever. She had become the living conduit for humanity's defiance, a beacon against the Empire's darkness. And as the stars watched silently, the war for the galaxy's fate entered a new, more dangerous phase. The air inside the subterranean command chamber was thick with tension. The power of the ancient weapon coursed through Lena Morozova like wildfire, her mind fused with the vast cosmic intelligence embedded within the device. Outside, the last remnants of the Imperial forces regrouped for a final desperate assault. But inside, Lena faced a reckoning far greater than any battle on the physical plane. Her eyes glowed faintly with the weapon's energy as she floated between clarity and cosmic chaos. The alien consciousness that had once warned her now spoke plainly. "The Empire's psionic network is a shadow of what lies beyond," it whispered. "You have awoken the attention of the Voidborn, beings older than galaxies who feed on War and destruction. Your weapon is a beacon to them. Lena's breath caught. The Voidborn. The darkness beyond the stars. Yes, the voice replied. Their arrival is imminent if the war continues unchecked. You must choose. Wield this power to end the Empire now, or risk awakening a threat that could consume all life. Above the frozen continent, the final Imperial strike force advanced, sleek assault crafts cutting through the icy wind. Cathar, battered but unbroken, led the charge. His mind still burned with the psychic wounds Lena had inflicted, but his resolve was darker and more terrifying. Earth will fall, he muttered, and the Empire will reclaim its dominion. Inside the command chamber, Marin Kaido and the Coalition's remaining defenders prepared for the worst. The ancient weapon's energy pulsed through the ice walls, shaking the cavern. Dr. Morozova, Marin called through the comm link. The Imperials are breaking through. We need you to make a decision. Lena's voice was calm but resolute. I will use the weapon once to end this war, but we must do it precisely. Any mistake, and we bring the Voidborn down on us all. Raj. Patel nodded at the control panel. We've synchronized the weapon's targeting with the Imperial flagship's coordinates. One strike, total annihilation. In orbit, Lieutenant Jace Navarro's fleet engaged the scattered Imperial forces. The psionic network was shattered, and the Empire's ships floundered, disorganized and vulnerable. But Jace knew better than to celebrate too soon. Reinforcements from the outer systems are incoming, he warned. The Empire will not fall quietly. Back underground, Lena prepared herself. She steadied her breathing, focusing on the cosmic energy flowing through her veins. As the weapon's neural interface synchronized fully with her mind, she felt the surge of creation and destruction intertwined, a power beyond human comprehension. Hold on to who you are, the alien consciousness urged. You are the spark of hope. Suddenly, the cavern trembled violently. The Imperial boarding teams burst through the last defenses, charging toward the weapon's core. Marin and her guards opened fire, but their numbers were few. Lena, Marin yelled. They're almost here. Lena's hand hovered over the activation console. With a final breath, she channeled the weapon's energy, focusing on the Imperial flagship orbiting just beyond Earth's atmosphere. The sky above Earth blazed with celestial fire as the weapon unleashed a beam of unimaginable power. The Imperator Ascendant, already crippled from previous strikes, was incinerated in a catastrophic explosion visible from the surface. The remaining Imperial ships faltered, their command structure shattered, but the moment of victory was shadowed by a creeping dread. In Lena's mind, the alien consciousness screamed warnings as the weapon's energy pulsed uncontrollably. The Voidborn, they have heard the call. Dark shapes twisted at the edges of reality, tendrils of blackness stretching toward Earth. Marin watched the sky, horror dawning. We've done it, but at what cost? Lena collapsed, the neural link severing painfully. She gasped for air, her body trembling. We've won the battle, she whispered. But the war is far from over. Across the galaxy, the message was clear. Humanity had defied an empire and unleashed a cosmic force that could change everything. The reckoning had begun. The skies above Earth burned with the afterglow of the ancient weapon's final strike. The Imperator Ascendant, the pride of the Empire, was no more, a blazing ruin drifting silently in orbit. But the victory came at a staggering cost. Lena, Morozova, lay in the neural interface chamber, her body frail and trembling, the weapon's cosmic energy slowly ebbing from her veins. Around her, the coalition leaders gathered, faces a mixture of awe and fear. General Tariq al-Sayed stepped forward, his voice steady. Dr. Morozova, you saved Earth from annihilation, but we must face what comes next. The Voidborn, the ancient darkness your weapon awakened, they are not just legends. Far beyond the solar system, something stirred. Black tendrils of void energy rippled through the fabric of space-time, hungry and relentless. The Voidborn had heard humanity's call, a beacon flaring in the cosmic dark. Back on Earth, Lena's mind raced. The alien consciousness inside the weapon had warned her, but now the warning was reality. "We bought time," she said softly. "But the galaxy is watching. The Empire is broken, but a far greater threat looms." Marin Kaido looked out over the battered Earth from the command center's observation deck. "After all this," she said, "what do we do? The coalition is fragile. The Empire's remnants will try to regroup. And now, the Voidborn." Lena met her gaze. "We rebuild, and we prepare. The galaxy will no longer be a place where empires crush worlds without consequence." Raj Patel joined them, holding a glowing datapad. "The Vakran have pledged to stand with us. Their knowledge of the Voidborn could be the key to our survival." Meanwhile, scattered across the stars, pockets of humanity and alien allies rallied. The Vakran fleets moved to secure vital systems, offering sanctuary and advanced technology. Lieutenant Jace Navarro, now promoted to Admiral, coordinated with rebel factions across the Empire's former territories. The spark of rebellion had become a blaze. On Earth, the political landscape shifted. Former enemies in the coalition began to see a shared destiny. Minister Kwan addressed the assembly. "We cannot afford division. Our survival depends on unity, on embracing the strengths of every culture, every world, human and alien alike." The Council voted to establish a new interstellar alliance, the Terran Galactic Federation, dedicated to peace, defense, and exploration. In the Antarctic cavern, the ancient weapon was carefully sealed. Lena watched as scientists and engineers worked to understand the cosmic intelligence trapped within. It was clear the weapon was more than just a tool. It was a bridge to a universe of unimaginable power and peril. "We must guard it," Lena said, "but never forget the lessons it taught us. Power without wisdom is destruction." Days later, as Earth's sun rose over a recovering world, Lena stepped outside, feeling the crisp air and warmth on her skin. Children played in the streets, and the stars above seemed somehow closer, brighter, promising. She smiled, hope blooming. The war had reshaped humanity forever. The Empire was shattered. The Voidborn threat was looming. But humanity had faced the darkness, and had responded with firepower from the heavens.